The brand new Whoop 5.0 or MG could be your best investment ever or a complete waste of money. In this video, I'll cover the basic features of Whoop like strain, recovery and sleep tracking, along with the brand new advanced features like health span, blood pressure and AFib detection. Let's start with the cost. There are 3 tiers when it comes to the new Whoop memberships. 1, Peak and Life. 1 is the most basic level and is for the 5.0 exclusively. It comes in at £169 per year or $199 USD. And it covers all of their core features like strain, recovery, sleep tracking, and it does give you personalised coaching insights as well. Peak is the middle tier and is also for the 5.0 only. Cost is £229 per year or $239 USD per year. It gives you some more advanced features like health span, pace of aging, stress monitoring, and monitoring your vitals and giving you any notifications if anything is out of whack. Life is the highest tier membership. Cost for this is £349 per year or $359 per year. And it comes with a new medical grade device, plus blood pressure insights and heart screener, which includes an ECG and irregular heart rate rhythm notifications. And the subscription model never ends, which means you just pay that every single year. You never actually fully own the device, which is one thing I hate. So how will the Whoop even benefit you? Let's use an example from weight loss. If you weigh in every single day, you tend to weigh less, and people who weigh in every single day actually maintain a lower weight over time. Why? It's not like stepping on the scale is going to help you burn a ton of calories, but what it does do is it brings attention to the measurement. And when we measure things, our behaviour actually changes even just measuring them. This is where Whoop can be an amazing investment for someone who's a busy professional who wants to get fit. If you are consistently getting poor sleep scores, you're consistently getting bad heart rate metrics like a high resting heart rate or low HRV, your recovery is awful all the time, you're going to start to see those patterns and probably want to start changing them. And it's the changing of the behaviours that's the most important part. But measuring them allows you to start noticing the patterns. Let's look at some of the basic features here. We've got sleep, recovery, strain, and you also get VO2 max with the base package as well. Sleep is broken down into a few key items. Hours, V's needed, sleep consistency, sleep efficiency, and high stress sleep. Sleep consistency is new from when I had the Whoop 4.0, which I actually really like. And as you can see from my device here, I rarely get enough hours suggested by the Whoop. The sleep insights are also broken down into the different stages of sleep, which I find really useful. Because, for example, if I'm not getting enough deep sleep, then I can start looking at some of the behaviours that are going to impact that. You know, my Whoop showing me I'm only getting 1 hour of deep sleep each night. Maybe I need to wind down a bit more effectively. Maybe I need to introduce a magnesium supplement. You know, maybe I need to sauna in the evening to help bring my core body temperature down. You can start impacting the behaviours when you have the measurement. Recovery is broken down into 3 categories. Green, which is 67% to 100%, that basically means you're recovered and good to go. Yellow is 34 to 66%, and this means you're okay and you can perform moderately. And the red is 0 to 33%, and this basically signals that you need to rest up. I take these with a pinch of salt. I have felt great during yellow or red days, and I have felt garbage on green days. But I generally think it does give you a good sense, and if you see a bunch of red days, a bunch of yellow days, or a bunch of green days, I think that's going to give you a good trend of where you actually are. My Whoop 4.0 used to pick up when I was sick really quite well. My resting heart rate would spike, my HRV would drop to the floor. I haven't been sick yet with the 5.0, so we'll see how that pans out over time. The final base metric here is strain, which measures your exertion each day. And I have a big issue with this one. Strain is pushed really high when you do any form of cardiovascular training, and it's kept very low in comparison when you do any sort of strength training. For example, I done a solid leg day on June 2nd and got a 7.7 strain for the exercise, with a 14.4 strain for the full day. Whereas I took a rest day and just played some golf on the 6th of June and got an 11.2 strain for the golf and a total of 16.2 strain for the entire day. I can assure you the leg day was a hell of a lot more taxing than a few holes of golf. I pay almost no attention to strain whatsoever. I go over my target literally every day. The step tracking feature is great. I complained about this not being in the 4.0. They did update that at the time. I have noticed that my step count on the Whoop is always higher than the Apple Watch, but I really don't know what to make of that. I suppose I never take the Whoop off, whereas I do take the Apple Watch off from time to time. To me, the next part is where the Whoop really shines. Every single morning, when I wake up, I complete my journal. And over time, you can start to see what behaviours have an impact on your recovery, your performance, your sleep. So you can actually start paying attention to those behaviours and changing them. And that to me is what makes the Whoop a great investment if you're going to respond well to that. Health span and pace of aging are some of the newer features on the Whoop 5.0. I thought this only came with the MG device, which was one of the reasons I bought it, but I was wrong. It actually comes with the 5.0 as well. What I like here is, again, it draws attention to the behaviours that influence long-term health, and it gives you plus or minus scores. For example, your sleep consistency, how much time you spent strength training, your activity levels. It shows you how these actually impact your health span age. What I am really confused about here is that my Whoop has me 10 to 12 years younger than my actual age at any given time, but my pace of aging is always higher. So far the range has been like 1.4 to 1.7. So I don't understand how my pace of aging can be faster, but I'm apparently 10 to 12 years younger than my actual age. So the accuracy on one of these seems to be way off. Do I feel like I'm 20 years old? No. So I don't think this is hugely valuable information. What I do think it gives you is a good summary and a good direction. If you're 10 years older, you probably have some work to do on your lifestyle. If you're 10 years younger, I think you're probably doing a lot of the right things. So what features does the MG come with specifically? The blood pressure insights and the ECG and irregular heart rhythm notifications. The first big issue with this for me is that you need a blood pressure cuff to actually set this up in the first place. That's not something that's communicated. When I purchased the Whoop, thought that it would have the ability to measure my blood pressure. But what you need to do, and I'll show you a clip of me doing this, is you need to get your cuff, you need to take the measurements, and then you sync it up with the Whoop. Now, what they don't tell you about the Whoop blood pressure insights on the MG device is that you need to have a calibrated blood pressure monitor. That wasn't mentioned in the marketing, so quite disappointed with that. I had to get this off Amazon, and I'm going to do my first readings. So I have to relax for 5 minutes, then no talking, and then I'm going to do 3 readings, 1 minute spaced apart, and we'll see how this sinks in. I'm not sure how many readings we'll have to do, we'll find that out in a second. After you've done that first reading, you do get the blood pressure metrics popping up regularly. And it seems relatively accurate. I have taken my blood pressure a few times and it seems to be in range. The one problem I do have though is my diastolic blood pressure is actually lower than 60 quite often, which is below the threshold for which Whoop will even allow you to add in. For example, my first measurement was 104/56 and it didn't pick it up, so I had to put in 60 as the base metric. So not a fan of that. Let's look at the next feature, which is the ECG. I've taken the measurements a few times. Again, I have no heart problems or AFib issues, so this doesn't seem like a good feature for me to use. And again, I ran into another issue. My resting heart rate is too low. So I attempted to take readings on this, and because my resting heart rate was below 50 beats per minute, the Whoop was not able to pick up and take a correct reading. Therefore, it gave me an irregular heart notification when realistically, I'm just fit and healthy. So the MG features, the blood pressure and the irregular heart rhythm, I see these as only being useful for people who have genuine problems or concerns in this area. If you're like me and you're an athlete who's looking to optimize, you actually can't even use them, because if you're incredibly fit and your blood pressure's low and your heart rate's low, the Whoop doesn't even have the facility to pick these up. To me, the MG is a complete and utter waste of money. Again, unless you have specific concerns around blood pressure, cardiovascular health, then by all means this could be helpful. But Whoop's target market is athletes, people who are fit for the most part. So I really don't get these two features. To me, they're a complete fucking waste of time. Just being blunt. The big question here then is the Whoop 5.0 or MG worth your time and money? Or is it just another distraction? If you're looking to start changing your behaviours, improve your sleep, your performance, your recovery, I think this is a fantastic investment. And I would encourage most people to give the 30-day trial a go. I think you have nothing to lose. When it comes to the MG, as I said, complete waste of time. And that's not going to be required for 99% of people. When our clients come to us and ask, what fitness tracker should I buy? Should I buy a fitness tracker? My response is usually always the same. Do not get a fitness tracker for the sake of getting a fitness tracker. Get a fitness tracker if it's going to help change and modify your behaviours, because that is the only thing that actually matters. My general recommendation for you watching this is get the Whoop 5.0, use the middle tier package and try it out for 30 days. I honestly think you have nothing to lose, and I do think the health span metrics are probably worth the extra money per year just to see how you're tracking in regards to someone your own age. So I think it is a useful feature. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next one, which is how I get leaner than 99% of men. Off to the side, go and check it out and hit subscribe if you haven't already.